100% sure. That's why I said we do Zoom again. Otherwise, next time we either do Skype or do your Zoom. Okay. I had a problem last time with actually finding it.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, that's, we'll record in and.
So how did you, what was your impressions of your Saturday afternoon session?
Yeah. Thanks for this question.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
How are you?
Good, thanks.
You know, as an English class, it was different. All of them except one, who I think was too shy, had prepared a PowerPoint presentation, and I guess all of them had copy and pasted onto PowerPoint, and that was fine because then they had to read it. Okay.
Yeah.
And it was quite difficult English that they decided to copy and paste from. So one, you know, spoke about Krishna, another one about Muhammad, and well, I don't know, you probably saw them on there. I tried to leave just the beginning of them on so that you would get a feeling of what the others were talking about. But I mean, the one went on for more than half an hour just reading from the slides. Okay.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it was. That's why I decided to just edit it, and because I also had to send it to Logos, to Lee, because I got an audio from Moya, basically telling me that, well, it's difficult. First of all, he was saying, well done on taking the initiative, nice to see that somebody's taking the initiative, and but I don't want you to do it anymore. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, not quite in those words, you know. Let me see if I could find it here somewhere. Came through on Lee's. Wait, it was. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know which speaker I'm using at the moment, but it's.
Hello, good morning, Michael.
Can you hear it?
Yep. Yeah.
Adi. We heard about the effort you are making to take Logos outside the where we are here. Indeed, I'm impressed with your effort and your love for the organization. But as I have often said, we need to have a structured kind of approach. So, you see why I asked Lee to communicate with headquarters is so that we don't have many people coming from all directions talking about different things and so on. So I think until we have restructured, which we are planning to do, the movement with the board and other people, I think we should continue to use the old method for a while.
I'm going to stop.
Communicating with Lee, and then you might also communicating with Lee. And then Lee will certainly explain.
Doesn't want to stop.
I'm quite limited here with the logistics.
There we are. So that's, you know, exactly the gist of it. Okay. It's been no different over the past 16 years. Okay. He basically says, yeah, we're going to take it to the world this year. This is, and that's 2016, and then 2017, 18, 19, 20, you know, and it just carries on. And then those of us, the reason he included Maddie, I phoned her and said, what have you been doing? Okay. She said, nothing at all. You copied me the video, okay, the presentation that you were going to do. And, you know, so now I'm included in in your dealings. So I said, all right, that's fine. I understand. So it's, as I said in the actual video itself, Logos is not prepared to launch at the moment. Okay. And he goes on in that audio to say that he wants to launch in Southern Africa because the Ibala Malende, which I said in that video, is that force that has come right from the Godhead, is on the planet, but it's sitting strongly in Southern Africa. And so that's why. Now, the interesting thing, I got that audio while I was listening to one of the others speak about Muhammad. Okay, we were actually already in the meeting. I'd already prepared my slides. Okay, and so I turned my microphone off and I listened to the audio. Okay, that we were saying, and then everything that I thought I was going to say, I basically didn't. Okay, but I did speak to the slides, and I did say, I'm not allowed to share anything more with you at this stage. Okay, and it is so difficult to comprehend what's going through such a great man's energy fields, from all different directions. I mean, he clearly knows what needs to happen, and so I guess the time is right at some point. But he goes on to say he wants a committee in Southern Africa, and Southern Africa, he's apparently, I've never known about them or never met them, shall I say. He's got a committee in Zambia where he actually comes from. And or was it Zimbabwe? No, it's Zambia. That board has got to also, I don't know, Lee, with our national person, which is Lee Hobson, and I think she's confused because she gave me the green light. I sent her my presentation, and she said, just don't use the Black Eagle because it hasn't been registered, copyrighted yet, and there are going to be some tweaks to it. And rather use, as she called it, the old one. So I used basically the fish eagle, which is the white head, and so that was in my presentation. That was a last minute change as well. But I did get Lee's. Before Moya's audio. I did get Lee's SMS telling me that, so I quickly changed it, and I've just now put everything away, as I've done year after year. I mean, let's just guess, about 5 years ago, Maddie and I were asked to set up a national committee and to start moving with Logos. Okay, now we really did well. Okay, I must tell you. And we had subcommittees going, we had meetings going, we had church services going. And then he came and he said, I'm just abandoning the committee. Gone. Finished. So there we are. Not the first time it happened, but that was quite dramatic because, we had really thought that was the year. But it wasn't. So anyway, that was in answer to your, how did the Alatra chat go? And yeah. So what did you think of the video?
I thought it was good. Yeah, I mean, obviously, not hearing what the others said, but that's okay. But I thought it was a very simple and straightforward message. It was just about, okay, it's time for action, So it doesn't matter who, and I agree with you 100%. It doesn't matter whose path you want to adopt. Just get on with it.
Yeah, and the message coming from everybody, including Moya, is, are you ready spiritually? And so, we've all, got to ask ourselves that question. You and I ask it in different ways, but but it's Allatras is the same thing. They also asking, work on yourself. Okay, and so yeah, we'll see how things. So, what have you been up to?
Not much really, just doing my practice.
Doing your what? Sorry.
Doing my practice.
Your
Doing my practice. Yeah, and just concentrating on that. I guess I've had it's sort of in one sense it's sort of funny because you talk about what Moya's just said to you, and you've reflected on what's happened in the past. But it just seems to me, that as you progress down the path, you just come to these little sort of obstacles, and you've got to get through the obstacle before you can get to the next level. It's almost like a game of some sort, and the last obstacle is probably the biggest one, and that's the one, like a lot of the old scripture, they talk about it being, was it the dark night of, what do they call it? The dark night of someone. I don't know.
Yeah, recall.
And so it's just sort of that persistence and devotion and continuing on no matter what, and that's just the way the path seems to operate, so.
Yeah, I think, I can see Moya's definitely the point of view of that, and I think we can see it with Allatra, okay? Allatra has put out masses of information, okay? Now, to what degree has that information been mutilated by people who are using that, maybe not even Allatra members, could be Allatra, but people, on the peripheral who now, making themselves look like, they making statements and maybe twisting those statements. We actually don't know. And that's exactly what Moya is always been worried, okay, has been that aspect. I seem to feel that at some point in the future, because another thing that he has always said, and I've mentioned it to you probably a year ago, was that after this resetting of the planet, okay, let's just call it that, all right, of everything, okay, there will come about 100 years of typically a golden age, okay, and so the people have the time then in that golden age to really apply themselves to evolve spiritually, and but there will be that time of peace. Now, how far away that is, only Moya knows, okay, but we still have to go through the trauma, okay, the planet I'm talking about, okay. So you've got to be careful, I guess, where people take the truth, whether it's in the Allatra book or one of the other authors, and then mutilate that truth, and or give their interpretation, or maybe not even intentionally, just give their interpretation. So there is a danger that you and I have spoken about it in business when you're talking about alternative health or anything like that. People go and research, and then they put their take on it and put it out as the latest and the greatest, and which does bring me to something else. But yeah, so be it. I think. What's your take on it?
Well, I guess my pondering about it over the last week or so has, well, since we last spoke, I guess, has really been the challenge is that it's a personal and it's a solitary journey. And I guess I sort of alluded to it in those last couple of videos, is that, can you do it on your own? Yeah, sure you can, but it'll take you a lot longer. So you do need a trusted teacher to shine a light on areas that, you know, the reality of it is that for each of us individually, you know, it's largely uncharted territory. So if you're going into a place that you don't know, even if you're just going for a drive somewhere,
Yeah.
you know, like if you landed at Brisbane Airport and jumped in the car and says, "Oh, I'm going to Don's place, but I don't know where he lives," it's going to take you a long time to find me.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, whereas, but if you get trusted guidance to say, "Oh, well, this is where he lives and this is the direction that you take," then you get there a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And that's really the issue. And I didn't talk about it at length, but you know, then people say, well, how do you find your guru or your teacher, or you know the spiritual leader? Well, the reality is you don't. They find you.
Yeah.
And the way they find you is that, you know, the fire of wanting to know and wanting to grow is so powerful that they can't miss you. But if you don't have that fire within your belly, or wherever you want to put it, then it's just going to be a curiosity or spiritual entertainment, or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Trying to control people. So that, in my mind, is a big part of the challenge. You know, that I love the simplicity and the accuracy of Moya's message. You know, that, hey, you know, if you've been wondering, yes, there is a God. You know,
Yeah.
there is a God. There's nothing. That question's been answered now.
Yes.
What are you going to do?
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And the trouble is, there's still too much ignorance and nonsense around some of the fundamental questions, you know. And maybe that's, I was going to say Moya's frustration, but he doesn't get frustrated. Maybe that's Moya's concern in terms of the timing. You know, is the timing right?
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, some of these, like as Alatra talk about, maybe some of these climate catastrophes and so on are going to be the wake-up call for people to, you know, come to their senses. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I hope it doesn't come to that, but hey, you
Yeah.
look, you survey the horizon now, and what's your level of confidence?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so but that's the, you know, the fundamental questions that people have to walk up to and honestly answer for themselves. You know, is there a God? Well, hey, you know, these spiritual giants over the ages have said unquestionably yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the next step is, so what are you going to do now?
Right. 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 Right.
Because that's what I'm hearing him say, you know. So
yeah, he is, and he talks about every human being on the planet goes through a process of 5 steps in the physical realm. Okay, and then the 6th step is the first step into the spiritual realm while you're on Earth. Okay. And then there are 5 more to actually get to the Godhead, which you can do while you're on Earth. And then he talks about how to do that, okay? And you know that that's where I got this word contemplation from, okay? It was from Logos, okay? Not meditation. And so, yeah. So there are, I mean, there's steps he's written. I've got books, yeah, I think it is the 12 Steps to God or something like that. A little, they were like paperbacks in a way. He was going to put them into, maybe he has put them into one book, but you know, they were just, each step was another little paperback or a little book that was printed. And so yes, yeah. so much.
And I think part of the magnitude of the task ahead too is that, given, you know, like as Alatra rightly points out, you know, the consumeristic nature of society, you know, all of that, the elements around that, you know, like this lust for money and lust for more and more at any cost, and you know,
Yeah, yeah,
not putting people first and all that sort of stuff. I mean,
right, right.
you know, they're big things to reset, aren't they? They don't happen easily, you know. So
Right, right. Yeah, I want to just change the subject for a minute, because there's something that's on my mind, if you don't mind me
sure, no, of course not.
talking about it. But as you speak in the last sentence, I see Leah sent me a response here. I was going to read it loud, all right?
Yeah, sure.
Lee, you know Lee Hobson, right? She's Moya's right-hand woman in Southern Africa. So she's the only person that's allowed to link with him, okay? So there's like a channel. And she says, yeah, I sent her the video that I sent you, okay? Well done, Mike. Thanks. I let HQ know about your presentation, hence Moya's response. It's quite exciting. Moya has written powerful pamphlets for starting missionary work. We are still waiting to receive them. He has a specific plan at this chaotic hour on how to take Logos out. Logos must go out with a bang. Thanks for thinking of Logos. And that was Lee. Okay. So, okay. I just, what was my, yeah, where do I start? I told you that I had been approached about the book that I had published, the Cancer Holocaust book. Okay.
Yep.
And this was a publisher. Okay. Whereas before I had self-published it, and then I can move that same time, that virtually a couple of months after that, I'd moved to Australia. And so I never did any marketing, and I never had any money to do any marketing either. So, but the point is, I never did any marketing. And so, you know, basically the book was a failure as far as sales were concerned. And then I was interviewed by this university, as you know, a few weeks ago. And a lot of people then came to my website to download the free ebook, and some of them tried to buy the Cancer Holocaust book, and the website fouled up, so nobody could buy it. Okay, so now I'm trying to make sense of all this. Okay, and then this publishing company now, and they want me. They will fit the bill to everything, but I need to change my own ISBN, because they can't do that, because the ISBN is linked to the self-publishing company that I was working through, and it's going to cost me $1,000 to do that. Okay. Now, my original impulse, when I mentioned it to you before, was, yeah, you know, let me try, now that I'm getting some income in from GetResponse, let me republish the book. Okay, and then the money didn't come through from GetResponse. Okay, and it's supposed to have come through on the 5th of February, and now it still hasn't come through on the 14th, for various reasons. Okay, and I guess they're good reasons. And now they're saying to me, you promised us on the 5th, you know, where's the money? And I'm saying, well, I haven't got my money yet. Okay, so you have to hang in there a bit. And sort of almost over that period, like the last few days or the last week maybe, I haven't been feeling particularly well. You know, my glands in my lymph system here in my neck have been up. They're still up today, which is very uncomfortable. One of my ankles have been giving me trouble. but only when I'm sleeping, not when I'm walking and gardening and so on. So there's just things coming around, which now makes me think, and it's a time I shouldn't be thinking, you know, do I really want to go ahead with this book? Because within 2 weeks, I've got to apply for a new holiday visa through the Australian, and you know, that's going to cost me, you know, whatever it is. I don't know. Sue, are you here? Do you know what it's going to cost? Going to cost $500 each. Okay, so it's $1,000 for the two of us, and I thought, you know, I've got $1,000 coming in from Get Set Up at some point. These other things are stopping me. Why am I not feeling well? And so the question that, and what I wanted to share with you was, you know, I'm stuck with the question, should I just kill that whole book publishing? Okay. Because as you know, that university that interviewed me had those 10 days of doctors and things talking, and I was one of them. I listened to every single one of them, and there was nothing new in what they were saying. Everything they were saying is in my book. Can you believe it? Okay. And my book's only 90 pages, okay, A5 pages, so it's not a lot of book. But I thought, I just feel, and I wanted to share this with you and get some feedback from you, or maybe some questions from you, that, you know, I think I should just forget about it. Forget the book, okay? See it as something that been there, done that, got the T-shirt. Well, I didn't get the T-shirt, but been there, done that, okay? And then you know, get on with Get Set Up, whatever you know comes out of that, because I'm enjoying it, and I can do my research and so on. But the big thing is, do I tell them I'm not going ahead? That's what the question I'm confronted with all the time, and I can't get my hand around it. You know, when I argue with myself, I think, Michael, if you publish the book, you're just on an ego trip. Okay, why would you publish? Why would you republish the book? Okay. Yeah, I'll get some sales, and they're going to give me 100% of the royalties, and whereas at the moment I get like 5% of the royalties, and the other company takes 95%. So I get nothing. This way I could now get royalties from it. But also the book, I was like venting myself, and when I look, I was venting this thing about that you and I talk about all the time, the big pharmaceutical companies and the way they're murdering these people with cancer and causing more cancer and stuff like that. And I'm giving alternatives. I'm giving examples all around the world where there are alternatives. So, but they were this weekend too. That 10 days, not this weekend, the 10 days of that conference, they were all giving alternatives, and the alternatives that I used largely. So I think, you know, is it an ego trip? Is it an ego trip? You know, why do I want to allow them to republish it? I can't come up with a reason. Therefore, I think to myself, sick or not sick, or not feeling well, whatever, it's a no, okay? It's a no, because I can't come up with an authentic why. I don't know, I can't believe that that book's going to now get out to millions of people and who've got cancer, and they're going to read it, and they're going to look at alternatives, or they're going to become aware of the pharmaceutical dragon that is stealing their money. I don't know. It's because that was the essence of the book, is to make people aware. But you know, that was 2 or 3 years ago, and so yeah. What's your take? And what?
So how does this new publisher make anything out of it?
They sell to resellers, okay, because they're publishers, okay. and they then they can dictate the price that the reseller is going to apparently sell it for. And they've got a lot of their own outlets online that they also sell that doesn't go through sort of retailer.
Okay. So in effect, you're sort of selling it to them at a wholesale price. In effect,
they're going to market the book and sell the book, and you know, I've been selling it for like $9 American dollars, and they want to sell it for $3. Okay, and so that's where they're going to make their money. Okay, is whatever. There's a royalty of whatever it is. I actually don't know, but let's call it 10%. So I'd get 90 cents or for every book that's sold. Okay. Yeah. Whereas,
and what's the time pressure from their perspective? They just want another product to flog, do they?
That's it. That's all. There's yeah. They want me to commit. They wanted me to commit the first week of January, February, sorry, and you know, and in a way, I did commit. I did say I'd go ahead with it, and now I'm having second thoughts.
And what are they putting a fair bit of pressure on you now, are they?
Well, they did on the 7th of February, and I said, listen, I'll get back to you because I have not received my money. And I don't
have they read the book?
Sorry?
Have they read the book? Have they read the book?
Yeah. The person, there was a person who had read it when they first contacted me, okay, that was many weeks ago. And then on the 7th, like I promised them, I sent them the script, okay?
Yeah.
I sent them the script and they said, we're going to redo the cover and all the sort of peripheral stuff around it. And, but, you know, obviously that they won't touch the content. And but they're not prepared to start before I've given them the money to change the ISBN.
Oh, so they want you to pay them to change the ISBN?
Yeah, yeah, $1,000.
Yeah. Don't think I'd like to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Might be the last you see of it.
Yeah, you see, it could be, and I can't believe it's going to cost. Well, they're actually in Britain, and so it's I think it's £255. That roughly is $1,000, depending on the day.
Anyway, well, notwithstanding the process that they've outlined to you, but the other thing, I guess, is a matter of principle. When people ask me about, you know, books that they've published and stuff like that, experience has shown me, and I'm not, you know, a renowned publisher by any stretch of the imagination, but experience has shown me that the more that you rely on third parties, usually the greater your level of disappointment.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, so from my perspective, it's not a case of do you or don't you, but the issue is more about how do you. Because I think it would be a shame just to walk away from it altogether. But as I said, in my experience though, and yes, it may take a longer time or whatever, but I think that at this stage of your publishing career, if you want to put it that way, you're better off having maximum control over your own product.
Yeah, and timing perhaps at the moment isn't critical. I mean,
what have they really offered you? You know, they haven't really offered you
nothing. There's no just a republishing of the book, no guarantees at all, or any promises of you know.
So they might sell 10 copies, or they might sell 10,000 copies.
Correct.
But the other thing too, in the book publishing world, whether you do it through Amazon or whether you do it through Smashwords, or, you know, there's a few others out there as well, is that their definition of a bestseller is 15,000 copies.
Well, you know, I learned when I was self-publishing, okay, that there actually isn't something called a bestseller. You buy that, you buy it, you pay for it. You actually buy it to get the New York Times to say New York Times bestseller. Okay, I was offered, I could have put that on my book before it was published. New York Times bestseller. No, I mean, that was sick. Okay, you know, I found out a lot when I was self-publishing. Money, give me more, and we'll give you whatever you want. Okay.
Exactly right. You know, and that's the same with, you know, Balboa Press and Smashwords and all of them.
Yeah.
Their businesses are, you know, they need fodder for their machine to work. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's your work that becomes the fodder. You know. And for them, you know, they must work on some sort of, you know, mathematical equation which says, you know, that if this one sells 1,500 copies, then they've made X number of dollars or X number of pounds and whatever, and they'll just keep on churning them through. You know, so.
Yeah, yeah. I hear what you're saying, and the feeling that I'm getting when you're talking is that, first of all, if I'm unsure, time isn't of the essence, okay? It's not, okay? So maybe to wait until I've got control, if something the universe wants us out, it'll come more in a way where I have more control and I know more about the I mean, I don't know anything about these people. I mean, you can Google it and research it and so on, but it really, I can't come up with any substantial evidence that they're authentic, okay?
No, well, that's the risk. I mean, you send you $1,000 off, and that's the last you see of it. You know.
Yeah, so. Yeah, and you never hear from the people again. So that is one thing. So possibly, as you say, I perhaps don't want to walk away from my work. I don't have any aspirations at this point of being an author. But if the universe led me in that direction and maybe made this book successful, I'd definitely consider it because I like researching and writing. Okay. And presenting, okay. So,
but I think too the book is a manifestation of your passion for, you know, alternative health.
Of alternative health, yeah.
You know, and that's the message that you've been putting out there. And you know, if people find your message, you know, one that resonates with them, then they'll come to you. You know. Yeah, this is the trouble with a lot of these publishers, and that, you know, it's all talk and trousers, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
But the trouble is, though, is like it's all these promises. You know, you send us $1,000 and we'll publish your book through all of these networks.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, number of times I've gone on to Amazon, as much as it irks me, and you just look there, and it's like the cost of this book on Kindle is $0. $0. Why would I want to do that? Oh, because it gives you exposure.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So does walking out into the midday sun naked. That gives you exposure as well. I can burn my ass in very more efficient ways than sending you $1,000. You know.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I think I must just let them pass and let it be.
Well, I think the fundamental question to you is, you know, is what's in it for me?
Yeah.
And all of this promise about, oh, well, we can put your book in front of, well, so can you. And you know, like if you wanted to go and spend $1,000 on behalf of your own marketing effort, you know, chances are you'll recoup that in a bit more, you know, so who knows?
Yeah. No,
but the difference is you're in control of the second scenario. You're not in the first.
Yeah.
You know, so it could be a case of sending your emails over there and saying, so where are we at? Where are we at? Oh, it's it won't be long now.
Yeah. Yeah. If they reply.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think I've made up my mind now, so I won't go ahead. But
But I think it's also a good time for you just to focus on the income, you know, like Get Set Up seems to be working. And I think there'll be lots of opportunities for you out of that, spinning off out of that, because, you know, you're building an audience and the audience is going to resonate with your alternative health message.
If
But
I'm
it may
allowed
not
to,
be-
if I'm allowed to tell them.
Well, that's my point. It may not be directly through Get Set Up. It might be
Indirect, yeah,
one step sideways from it, you know. So,
yeah,
and I don't know what their view is about that, you know. Like, do some of their very popular speakers have their own websites or anything like that? I mean, I suppose it wouldn't be hard if someone decided to Google Michael Plumstead that they could find you. You know,
yeah.
so.
And so that's what I do market. I market those two names, and
Yeah.
and when we're allowed to send them an email through Get Set Up at the end. In fact, we have to. It's compulsory. You got to send them some takeaways from their class, you know, like 5 lines or something. And I always sign it off Michael Plumstead. Okay. So yes, they could Google that, and that will bring them to quite a lot of social media sites. Yeah.
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 So you know, and that doesn't cost you anything. In fact, you're being paid to do that. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Which is what you want, you know, like, and as we've spoken before, even just from a financial perspective, you know, like, you know, if you're generating a level of income, you know, irrespective of where it comes from, that covers your living costs, then oh, happy days. You know?
Yeah. Sustainable living. Yeah.
And you know, that's really your objective in many respects, because you know you've got no desire to be a J.K. Rowling, you know.
No, I prefer to write on paper than on serviettes.
Yeah, well, there's not only that, but it's also, you know, the issue of enoughness and all of those sorts of things, you know. And we know that you know more than most, you know, about where the planet's at and where the energy dynamics are at and that sort of thing.
And see how that Get Set Up unfolds. Yeah.
You know, and you haven't got time to waste with you know people putting pressure on you about things, because, as you say, that you know, it directly affects your own health.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thanks very much for you know, allowing me to bend your ear. And
no, anytime.
Appreciate it. So, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind?
Did you send me the video of you walking in the morning?
I did.
I know. Is it on? I'm asking you if you did, because I think I'm 1 or 2 behind on the Skype.
Yeah, no, I sent you my morning walk video, and I think there's 2, maybe 3 others on there. Yeah.
Okay, I'll have a look now, when because I think there's one link that I haven't gone on to, but I'm busy preparing for 2 new Get Set Up classes. I've got to do a demonstration to them on Tuesday. So and one is microgreening. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it is. Okay. And I talk about the benefits of microgreen, and I talk about the alternative health. So hopefully I don't make it too obvious. Okay. And I just talk about not alternative. I don't use the word alternative. I talk about the health benefits of these things, and and then you can, you know, and I don't say.
Well, microgreens are a category of what they call superfood, isn't it?
Yeah, but I've also avoided using that word, you see, on purpose. I've sort of let it plain and said, you know, what is a microgreen? Because, you know, I'm not growing any right at this moment, which I'm going to do again. But, you know, I've lovely pictures of microgreens. And so it's saying that, you know, the key chemical is phenols. And now any pharmaceutical company will tell you that phenols you know, or like they are an antioxidant part. And so antioxidants will help you with diabetes too, with heart problems, with all those sort of things. Okay, so I've kept it not in a Michael Plumstead type of approach. Okay, I've just sort of telling them the facts without any emotions, and so hopefully that's going to work, and they're going to approve it, and that could.
I think if you also put that sort of slant on it, that you know it's something that you could do at home, and even if you live in a small apartment, you know, so it sort of has that lifestyle element to it as well, you know. So
yeah, that's exactly what I've done, and you know, because the market is for 50 plus, and you know, it's absolutely ideal way of getting all the nutrients in the greens as well as all these benefits as far as Alzheimer's is concerned. Okay.
Yeah.
So and it's true. I mean, you know, the specific ingredients that people eat them or take them, you know, they never get Alzheimer's. So anyway, yeah, I've taken that approach, and I'll.
Oh well, I'm pretty sure they'll approve that one.
Yeah, I hope so.
I can't imagine why they wouldn't, you know. So.
Yeah, the other one that I'm doing at the same time presenting to them is Pinterest. Okay. I don't know if have you ever had a Pinterest account?
Don't think I've got an account. Well, I've had a look on there several times. Yeah.
Okay.
More for inspiration than anything, but
well, that's one of the reasons. Yeah, inspiration out of Pinterest. You know, and you know, like you, for example, and if you're on Pinterest, you would probably have a board there that says, you know, antique restoration. Okay, and wherever you come across pictures or oils or woodworking tools or whatever, you would pin it to your board. Okay, and I think it's a lovely place to store stuff. Okay, it's a virtual scrapbook, and so
that's a good description of it, actually. Yeah.
You know, I had for years ago, I've actually, because I'm doing this now, I've got to go back and sort of like change my board. I did have self-healing on my board, and I still got that there, but I also had some other stuff, you know, wealth stuff, business, you know. So and I've got to use if I'm going live to show people, I've got to use my board, because I can't use somebody else's board. So I have that problem with Facebook and Instagram as well. So I've got to be careful what I post now.
Well, that'll be good, because that'll just continue to give you more variety.
Yes, it will.
You know, so.
Yeah, it will, and more places where people can contact me. Yeah,
and it's one of those topics that I'd imagine you get a lot of engagement too from the participants.
A lot of engagement, and you encourage it. They get set up want engagement. Okay. It's one of their primary objectives for every class is engagement. You know, not a lecture on content. Yeah. So that suits me too.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. I think that's really good.
Yeah. No, it's super.
I think you'll find that, you know, as you focus on that direction, which has been the major focus for you this year anyway.
Yeah,
I think you'll just get more and more momentum behind that. This other publishing thing sounds like it might be a bit of a distraction more than anything, you know. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The one thing that Sue, what did we do with it? Discovered yesterday. You know, Woolworths have got a promotion on. Okay, talking, and it's like a kiddies promotion. Okay.
Yeah, they're good, aren't they? They're the pots of fun.
They're really good. Hey, everything. You got the soil there. You got the seed. You got instructions.
Yeah. My granddaughter put a whole lot in my front garden of the lettuce.
Okay.
You know, the red lettuce.
Yes.
And she said, "Oh, will we?" Like as they were growing, she sort of every time she came over, she said, "Oh, will we harvest that?" And I says, "Why don't we just let them grow?" And when they go to seed, they're like prehistoric plants, you know. So they're quite beautiful. They have these little white flowers and that.
Yeah.
You know? Okay. And she's like, "No, Grandpa, let's just let them be beautiful." I says, "Okay, let's just do that." And then they self-sow, and so
yeah.
Yeah, and she loves them, you know, and they're quite colourful in the garden and everything. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great. I mean, you know, you could even harvest them at microgreen level, you know.
Well, that's right. You could,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, and they grow fast and
Yeah.
they're hard. They're hardy. So yeah.
You can transplant them into a pot if you don't have a garden. You
Yeah.
put that lettuce in a
Yeah.
pot, you know.
Well, that's how she started it. She just had like a plant saucer.
Yeah.
She just lined up all those little cardboard pots on it, you know,
Mm.
with a bit of water in it, so they stayed damp. And then
Yeah.
when they got to a certain size, she just transplanted them into the garden. And
Yeah, nice.
yeah,
Yeah, nice. Anyway,
mm. But it's a great idea, though. I think it's.
I think it's good, and all praise to Woolworths. And
Mm.
yeah,
It's probably the first little promotion towards kids and that doesn't involve little plastic toys.
absolutely. And that was my first thought. Okay, no more collecting these stupid little stickers, or you know.
But the whole process is a lot of fun because the so-called soil, I think it's just like a coconut core or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you just soak that in water and it expands about 10 times its volume. And
Yeah.
the whole thing from a kid's perspective, it's quite magical, you know. So.
I think so. I agree, and I think it is probably coconut, because. But yeah, but it's going to be fun. I'm going to put some in, and I'm going to have it here just below my desk here, and see how they grow. And I'm going to take pictures of them, and I'll share them in my class. So here we are. This is a mini microgreen, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Should be more of it.
Yeah, I agree. And maybe, you know, if we help promote these sort of things, then there will be more of it. Yeah.
I mean, I even like the idea of the little cardboard pots as well, you know, because sometimes when I go to a plant nursery and you buy seedlings, you always end up throwing away, you know, plastic containers and stuff. You know, you're thinking, oh goodness.
Yeah.
Give it to me in something I can just put into the earth.
Yes, I agree. I know that before I left South Africa, I don't know if they do it here. I haven't seen it anywhere, but Nando's, you've got Nando's here. I think they developed, you know, these polystyrene takeaway things. Okay, they developed it so that was editable. Okay.
Oh, really?
It was made out of corn or something. Okay.
Oh, like cornstarch or something like that. Yeah.
I really don't know, but you could eat it, and it wasn't like yuck, like cardboard. You know, it was actually quite tasty. Okay.
Yeah.
So I thought at the time, wow, okay, Nando's has really come to the party here as far as that polystyrene going into the wastes. You know.
It reminds me of the first time I went to Canada. There was a well, I wouldn't call it fast food, but there was a food chain over there. And like, because of the cold climate, they used to sell bowls of soup. And the bowl was made out of bread.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you drank the soup and ate the bowl.
And the soup didn't dissolve the bowl.
No, well, I mean, the bowl was quite like a crusty sort of,
you
know, like a
hard crust. Okay.
Yeah. And it was and in that cold climate, it was just like to die for.
Nice.
You know?
Yeah.
So they're the sort of things we need, not.
Yes, I agree.
Not plastic packaging and that. But I have heard that there is a lot more of that packaging coming out where it is made of like cornstarch or something similar.
Yeah.
So at a minimum, you could pop it into the compost bin or, you know, something like that.
That's a point. You know, it will totally decompose, or you could eat it. That's it.
Yeah.
Or you soak it in water and make a soup or something. You know?
Yeah. And I think someone was working on one that was made out of like seaweed or something like that, a similar sort of thing, you know. So,
okay. I have
very sustainable.
Yeah.
Very sustainable. But, well, I hope you're finding a bit more peace now. It seems like you might have come to some sort of decision on that other stuff.
I have. I have. I have, and I'm sure I'll sleep better tonight than I have for many nights, because I'm going to send them the email now before I listen to your video after this. And first send them an email saying, that's it. So they'll get it on, well, they still on, we on Sunday, so they must still be on Saturday. But anyway.
Yeah, I think the UK is about
7
9
hours.
hours.
It's 7
7
hours.
hours. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, from over
I
there.
think, unless there's daylight saving, then it's 8. Yeah.
Well, they'd be in the middle of winter over there, so.
Yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter. They'll it'll be in their inbox. That's it. And they'll be on the phone, because boy, they're quick to phone. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it was quite, actually in hindsight, quite funny, because the first person to make contact was a woman with a very foreign accent, okay? And I kept having to say, I'm sorry, but I just do not understand your accent, okay? And please, can you get somebody else to phone me? If you say you're a British company, please get somebody to phone me with a British accent. And they did, okay? So then I had this guy, I think he was gay, but at least I understood him.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it is all good. It's all good. Yeah.
Yep. Very good. Okay, my friend. Well, I think we might call it a night there, right? That'd be good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks very
I
much.
look forward. No, anytime. So I look forward to Wednesday, and we can ponder some important questions.
Yeah. Hopefully I can get a video out to you before Wednesday. Not a Logos one, another one.
Yeah, just see how you go.
All right.
Okay then.
Cheers, man.
Okay, you take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye now.